Me family them and a good evening. I hope say any side also on a friend on herself na the world. I hope so na they do well. I'm not gonna take much of an time for do langa till I do this evening time. See you tell family I do.
Family mo do.
Yeah. So family them we know say a lot they go on in our country. And some of them go wonder say why today again we sit on pan the public purse and public good, what is allowed and legal. Because I think say this na question we will for continuously ask ourselves until we arrive at a point where we can clearly say or we can clearly distinguish what is allowed and what is legal. And sometimes just because something look like for say it is allowed, not mean for say it is legal. Because if you go na the law book and you see say what has been allowed is contrary to wetin the law say, then there is a problem. Sometimes there are unwritten rules. Something is allowed, but not necessarily mean for say that thing they need for be allowed. So again, we go to the books. That is why we say sometimes the books are not everything they should be. But if we try for work within the merits, within the parameters, then maybe we can strike some form of a compromise. Compromise in the sense that we're not abridging anything, we know they violate anything, but we can get the optimal of waiting the law allow we for do. So we've been talk a little bit about, we've been get Naya so Mr. Chernobyl we explain in quite significant detail about waiting on earth, in research on earth, about happenings within the office of the chief minister. We also know for say prior to the publications of Mr. Ba, we also see within the Auditor General Office Pulnado, as in malpractices them way is see, regulations them way not they go right, thing them way procedures them way not they follow. And then even before this latest Auditor General report, we see how a dispute happened between somebody by the name of Honorable Tawakonte and Clerk of Parliament where Paran, I believe Paran Tarawali is his name. And all them thing boku thing them where they happen. Recently, we also see, I think just as recent as yesterday as well, we see how the country, the only pathologist where the country gets, how he was being put on suspension, quote unquote, or being fired because they say he failed for show up na a meeting with the minister, where then call him for can ask him questions. And forge a path forward as to how then go, make the Connaught hospital mortuary better. We get some questions then for asks surrounding that. When they don't fire this man here, so now, who did they replace him with? Is the current Minister of Health going to, stand in the gap for do the pathology work, while then find an adequate replacement? Because for fire somebody in a one thing, but you also need to get a contingency plan. And if the reason where them fire now because one thing then say Connaught Hospital not been they get lights, the freezer broke down, people loved ones then they go rotting, the place they smell. Do you blame the pathologist for that, or do you blame the administration? Because not all the pathologists they go find light bring and can Connaught. The pathologist in work now for examine the cause of death. That is his job. Unless his job goes beyond that, then una need for tell with the public that in job go beyond the description and the reason una give for fire am. But make I left am so. CEO, then thing and they were don then thing also I don't talk about small. I want make you go much small even before we can sit down and listen. Some of wetin Honourable Tawa Conte been reveal na a recent interview where he been sit down with Samuel Wise Bangura, and na around some of the thing dem we say na im we go use for aboard the subject today.
Well, I think so. When we get into the detail, that we will start breaking down for people and waiting. They're going with Tower what he say. But as you know, put plenty video them. Now the only man at Parliament where I feel say I turn up and give kudos to. And sometimes a painful way somebody they come up and say the truth. The same citizens that want to talk say we want for let change come to the country, we want let Salone move forward, we want let somebody stand up and fight for the truth. Now we see when they come back and talk say, well, where the evidence? As if the man not a part of the organization. In the history of Sierra Leone, you only count about 5 or 6 people and will not ever come and challenge the institution. They say this not be institutions are the work, this not place are they, but we place corrupt. You only get 5 or 6 are able to tell you in the history of Sierra Leone, able to call names. Everybody else is part of the gang. So for that, you get somebody like Parang, somebody like Tawa, not only stand against Parliament, but you go against empathy. And not say if they take the symbol in the hand, it they lost in position. It attack the speaker. You go after the secretary of clerk. I mean the clerk. All them people here, now people them way, now young people them way it's supposed to work with. Now people that are not supposed to cross. It costs them with the interest for let it put Salone force. But like I can say, it always pathetic that we the people in the fight for, we blind past Stephen Wonder because we not see nothing absolutely nothing. I'm telling you, we not see nothing. Because for Ladies Maya puts everything, I make again, I think say the other discussion for come we for talk about this independent business. Say some position in the if I people want as independence, make not one other party. Because that will give them a leverage for me them able to stand up and fight, not afraid to go for loss in symbol. So that you work directly for the people and not to the party. Because this party in the way you for go pass through for come work to the people them, they don't cause boku corruption, they don't cause boku man not go for setting up because now they are worried about their job. But if you get someone independent, where party not the day, if you work directly for the people them, they keep you. If you don't work, then take you out. In order for go to party all this time, you don't need to worry about party symbol. Una all kind of constituencies them, una stand elections, una choose the una candidate una office and give help una. If the person work, una re-elect them. If you not work, una take them out. All that call a lot put them aside. So me, I want the people I feel say some position the right way we get for the then cancel other things say no need for go to party anymore. But again, this is not a long topic. We get plenty things for cover. Even the pathologists on side, I think to make a different take where we go for break them up as we go and try for put things in perspective. We say all man getting on blame when we see now them. I think say we family say go join in and help we out for we get the discussion because not to we no more. We not get monopoly over idea, not to we no more get Salone. It's now we all own. So I will send it back to you.
Exactly. Salone now we all young. But even before I go and play this audio interview, we go take quite a bit of with him, but on a beer because sometimes we need for get a good foundation. I want I want for make people remember waiting Honorable Tawa Conte and another honorable been say shortly where the perception survey been reveal say Parliament corrupt na Salone, and where Honorable Givao been come, he back that claim there. In fact, even before that, Honorable Tawa Conte himself been don say something. I want make we technical team just show we then remarks then they where Honorable Givao be make and where Honorable Tawa Conte be make even before we go to this interview. If the technical team can just show me that.
issue, and you came back after a call from the leader of government business, Honorable Matthew Numa, and you resigned your position. Let's talk about that. First, what was this thing that led you to resigning your position?
Well, I believe that my powers under the Constitution of Sierra Leone, especially Section 93, that gives Parliament the power to set up committees, although the Constitution established some committees, and gives the mandate to those committees chaired by chairmen whose names, together with committee members, will be read in the chamber, and they will be approved by members of Parliament to run those committees for the session, because parliamentary committees are sessional. So I believe that the responsibilities enshrined in Section 93 gives me power to investigate, to unearth, and to look at things that are not in the interest of the state. Equally, those investigations, as per the Constitution, should lead to legislations. And for me, such a work is an enviable job. It's a job that you should treat with respect, and it's a job that you should treat with utmost seriousness. So giving me a committee as big as transparency and accountability, I have to say thank you, first of all, to the leadership for considering me, because the committee in itself has never been given to any first-timer. It is a committee reserved for either long-serving members of Parliament, mostly chief whips of the ruling parties. Giving me that committee, I took it as a responsibility given to me to discharge and show how transparency and accountability should be. Because since I entered Parliament, since I sworn that oath, I think I've been part of the parliamentary face that stands for accountability and transparency in this country and in Parliament. I have on several occasions asked for things that no parliamentarians have done or have asked for in the past. And giving me that committee, I believe you are telling me that we want you to go a step further. So looking at the standing order 42 gives me the power as the chairman to run the committee as the speaker does in the sitting in chambers. And the work started with me setting up my team. I started with the members. We had to develop an activity plan. We agreed on the activity plan. We moved the motion. It was adopted. So we started with the mining companies. We started with NMA and the lease, well, the supposed bid or supposed listing of Kingo for the Tonkolili mines. And the leadership at that time gave me a complete free hand. Thank God to AYV. AYV gave us a real-time viewing to everybody in this country, within and outside Sierra Leone, to understand exactly what was going on in Parliament, how parliamentary committees work. And for the records, I think even before I became a member of Parliament, the Committee on Transparency and Accountability was almost dormant. It was almost dead. They were receiving funding from European Union and other agencies that were keen on accountability. They stopped because the committee was almost moribund. I took the committee in less than a month. Every Sierra Leonean, both within and outside Sierra Leone, was enthusiastic. They were energetic about Parliament and parliamentary activity, because now they knew that the committee is called Transparency and Accountability, and that committee probes into issues that have to do with accountability, financials, procurement, and the like. So leadership gave me free hand in looking at Kingo. And when it comes to SALCAP, it became a completely different issue. At every point of the sitting, we either have to stand down to go and receive instructions either from the speaker, or to go and receive instructions from the leader of government business, or to go and receive instruction from a deputy leader who is a member of the information committee, because we were looking at the Ministry of Information.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, if the deputy leader, deputy speaker in Parliament, who is a member of the information committee in Parliament, and you were looking into issues that have to do with the Ministry of Information and SALCAP, how did that pan out?
Well, what happened is, because I realized that the Committee on Transparency and Accountability is a cross-cutting committee, our activity goes beyond any particular committee. We are not a specific ministry-driven committee. For example, the Committee on Information and Communication is a ministry-driven committee. They look at issues surrounding or around the Ministry of Information and Communication. They cannot go beyond that scope. Whereas two committees in Parliament, or 3 committees in Parliament: Transparency, PAC, and Finance, goes beyond just their agency. In fact, Transparency and PAC don't have limits. We can look at anything. So, because I was looking at the Ministry of Information, I have called the Committee on Information and Communication. We had 2 mock sessions. We agree on the TOR for that meeting. We agree on the scope. We looked at everything. Everything was analyzed. We planned it. So it was agreed as to what steps we are going to take. So the sitting on that day on the SALCAB issue was a joint committee sitting between the Committee on Information and Transparency. But however, it was Transparency Committee that had the process, because it was not because we initiated it and it was part of our activity plan, but because the matters we were looking at had financial implications. So the deputy leader, being a member of the committee, saw the actions of the Transparency Committee and the way we intend investigating the SALCAB issue as invariance with what has been done in the past. Because in the past, when you call people, or currently when you call agencies, they will go, the agency will just explain exactly what they are doing. At the end of the day, members of Parliament will only ask questions on what was explained to them. In this instance, we had researched as Transparency Committee. I have done my homework, so I was in a better place to ask critical questions and to ask questions that they deemed, both the leader of government business, the deputy leader, and the leadership of the SIPP, they deemed as embarrassing the minister. And for me, I don't see the line between embarrassing the minister and probing for the good of Sierra Leone, because the minister is an appointee of government, whereas I, as a member of Parliament, am an elected official of this country. So I don't see when somebody is telling me that you're embarrassing this person. If there is anybody that should be embarrassed at any point, it should be an elected official, because the appointed officer is to serve.
I mean, I've had arguments being advanced that Honorable Ibrahim Tawa, who was the chairman of the Transparency Committee in Parliament, was being very deliberate in probing or asking the tough questions that we are asking to the Minister of Information, because you were in bed with the head of SALCAB. You were his pal, so you were surviving through SALCAB as against the Ministry of Information and Communication. So it was deliberate. You wanted to just expose the minister or the Ministry of Information so that it suits your bedfellow.
Well, good as it is, posterity judges people from either positive or negative light. Today, as we sit, we have 100 and something staff of SALCAB that are out of job. When the minister was in Parliament, he said nobody will lose his job. When he left Parliament, when he met SALCAB, the staff of SALCAB, he modified it that nobody will lose his job needlessly. And I was trying to prevent a calamity that was and is still waiting to happen, which is SALCAB being unbundled without following due process, SALCAB being unbundled at the expense of the people of Sierra Leone. Because if you look at currently what is happening at SALCAB, you have a company called Zudlab that does not even have audited financial statements. You cannot imagine that we are, a country alone is giving an asset that has a liability of $105 million to a company that does not have 1 year audited financial. Even a bank cannot give a loan to such a company. A bank, a small entity. Currently, the paid up share capital for banks in Sierra Leone is 30 billion. Yeah, 30 billion is not even up to the risk assets of SALCAB. But that bank with that limited risk asset or that paid up share capital at the central bank, that the central bank keeps stressing that you must meet. If you don't meet, to close shop. A bank cannot give a loan to a company like Zudlab because they don't have 1 year audited financial. But a country like Sierra Leone would prefer to give an asset as big as SALCAB to a company that was registered 3 years ago, and people claim that the bid for the advertisement of the award of that contract was done as an international competitive bidding. Where is Zudlab? Zudlab was registered in Sierra Leone. What did they say in their own profile? They said they have a satellite office at Fort Lauderdale in Florida. So it means they have no presence outside Sierra Leone. What they have in Florida is like a post box. It's like a post box that if you have a letter for Zudlab, because you know the people that are owning Zudlab in Sierra Leone, please drop my letter there. My friend at that office would either mail it or send it to DHL. That is what I wanted to prevent. And today we are seeing it. As I speak, there has not been an agreement tabled in Parliament regarding the issue of SALCAP.
Because I was just going to ask, when you say the unbundling is taking place without due processes and all of that, then what is Parliament doing? Because Cabinet has approved, according to the Minister. Then what is Parliament doing to ensure that the due processes are followed? Because you have to do oversight functions. You have to oversight those institutions and see whether or not they are meeting the demands. And if not, you have to call them back. So what is Parliament doing?
Well, that's part of my trouble. My trouble is Tawa is calling Parliament out. Why am I calling Parliament out? The problem of our country sits with one institution. Parliament. They have enormous powers. The Constitution has given Parliament enormous responsibility, unending powers. Even if you look at the limited provisions that Parliament have under 93, 97 and 105 to make law, to represent and to oversee, even that Parliament cannot do effectively, because if you're talking about processes, you start first with the fact that when I called them, Parliament could not allow us investigate the issue. That is first misnomer. Misnomer number two. At the time when the minister was saying he had cabinet approval, the Constitution gives Parliament the power. Even if you have cabinet approval, I cannot remember whether it's section 60 or I cannot remember the exact section. But between 60, 61, around that area, gives Parliament the power to investigate any approval even granted by cabinet and see whether that approval is within the confines of meeting section 20 of the Public Financial Management Act. That is responsible financial management, the principle of responsible financial management. If you're spending money or if you're issuing out an agency without following due process, as we speak today, Zulab has taken over at SALCAP. Let's put it at December. Let's put it at December. Say Zulab took over in December. Where is the agreement? Has the agreement been tabled in Parliament? No. What is happening there? What are they using? They promised to invest $12 million. How much have they bought? This is 3 months. How much have they invested? Nothing. What are they using? They are using the assets of SALCAP. So people misunderstanding Tawa's position for the defense of the legacy of President Bio and standing with the manifesto of the SLPP and relationship or whatever they perceive as friendship with Kebe is completely different. And at Parliament allowed me to investigate SALCAP the way I wanted. They should have seen that even the current management, I was to look at their financials. I've requested their financials, their procurement documents, their procurement arrangement, and their structure, their lease. Even the leases they've done for all their outlets, be it a substation, be it current office, be it past office, because I wanted to know whether they were using government money judiciously. Because as per the Public Financial Management Act, Section 15, for SOEs like that, gives the power for the management, efficient and effective management of the finances of that agency to the vote controller. And the vote controller is Kebe. And we called Ishmael Kebe and the SALCAP team to Parliament together with the chairman. But I was told by the deputy leader and the leader that Kebe should not make a statement. Is that a fair investigation? No. Does that mean I'm supporting Kebe? No. I wanted to know. And a fair investigation is give both parties chance to make their statements. And you deduce from what you have investigated yourself, and what they are saying, and know who is right or who is wrong, or what is good and what is bad. As it is today, if you look at the agreement that was drafted by NPPA, the agreement in special clause 9 says Zulab will take the asset, but they will not take their liability. So for me,
who takes the liability? The government.
The liability goes to government of Sierra Leone, and what Zulab will be contributing by the letter from the Ministry of Finance will not be enough to offset even the interest on the loans that SALCAP has, and SALCAP will be paying over time. So for me, if you cannot allow me to do that job, if you cannot allow me to do what I want to do, in light with meeting my constitutional responsibility, then I see no reason why I can sit in any committee and allow myself being twisted and being told what to do, how to do it, when I know what you're telling me. It's not in the interest of country, it's not in the interest of anybody. So the best I do is protect my integrity, live up to my expectation, and move forward. To date, since I resigned, I was committed to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. As I speak, there have been 2 petitions against me. by the leadership of the SLPP in Parliament.
I'll come to that. I'm also of the view, well, someone from Parliament, I have close friends in Parliament who've told me decisions they are contemplating on and how to implement those decisions against Honorable Ibrahim Tawa. But let's go back to the resignation. Should you have resigned? Because many people again would want to say, no, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa should not have resigned. He should have stood up. He should have continued to hold the fort and ensure that the things he was pushing for are achieved. But resigning means giving way to the very people who you are accusing of stifling you, of muscling you to have their way, which according to you, that way is not the way for a better transformed society.
Can I say this? Can I say that what I was doing was purely for country, and sitting there acting like a puppet and assuming that yes, I am standing in, I'm facing up with the challenges, and these challenges I will surmount, and I know these challenges are insurmountable because the people that have built that castle, they are difficult to break. It is a team within a team, so it is a difficult challenge. So I looked at it. First of all, I had firstly issued an order as a committee, the Committee on Transparency and Accountability, led by me at the time, issued an order after we had investigated NMA and Kingo and the award of the Kingo license. We said Kingo should not do anything until the issues raised by the Mineral Advisory Board, that is knowing the shareholders of Kingo, seeing the financial statements of Kingo, and understanding the relationship between the current Kingo and other Kingos that were registered 6 years ago that could not do anything, that wrote a letter to the NMA that for 6 years they have not started operation because they could not attract dependable investors. That was not our speaking. That was the Mineral Advisory Board that said that. And I looked at that, look at the Mineral Advisory Board's minutes paper and the recommendations of the minister. And I said, okay, based on this and all the other things that we realized, that the Act says any company that wants to take up ventures like this should have a strong financial statement. Even geophysics or the company that did the geographical analysis for them recommended that for the running of the mines, a company that is going to take the mines needs $50 million every month. And the account statement that was submitted by Kingo says from HSBC Hong Kong is showing 51 million Hong Kong dollars. That is about 800,000 United States dollars. And we issued an order on Kingo that Kingo should not proceed until we verify that all of these T's and I's are dotted and crossed well. What happened? The leadership, the same leadership of Parliament led by the leader of government business, all the senior parliamentarian, the Honorable Hassan Sisi, the other senior parliamentarian from Tonkolili, they went to the handing over ceremony of Kingo. Shows the committee does not have weight. Secondly, let's come to Salcab. Adai adjourn as proposed by or as suggested to me by the leader of government business in the meeting that was as part of the twisting process, that okay, you are embarrassing the minister, go and adjourn. This is not how it's been done. This is not how people used to do it. When you come here, I said that was why the people voted against those that were doing it the wrong way. So if I had adjourned the meeting, like I adjourned and resigned, it means that would have been the end of the Minister of Information coming to the Committee on Transparency. And the people of Sierra Leone will be looking at Honorable Tawada, since he adjourned the issue of Salcab has not come again. Ministry of Information has not come again. So he has been compromised. So even what we are seeing is just act, play, and scene. So instead of this misconception, it is best to move out and let those that are used to playing the drama or used to act in it, let them continue to act it the way they act in it. Because Adai adjourn and adjourn to an indefinite date. And people, especially AYV, whom I thought at the time and still believe that was helping the country and was helping me, because they were helping the committee and helping the country to know exactly what Parliament is doing and what Parliament will do in the future. And it will be live on air that the Honorable Tawa and the Committee on Transparency, together with the Committee on Information, adjourn to continue the investigation. And people would have tasted the juicy parts of the meat. So if the meat does not come again, it means the giver of the meat has collected something from behind the scene. And I did not want that position. I don't want to be in that position. And I come here and begin, why haven't you called Salka? And I begin to find excuses. So the best to do at the time was to step aside, resign from the committee, and allow them to continue the play as it is.
You are being called, I mean, based on that position and also calling out Parliament. By the way, you're not the only one who've called out Parliament. In the previous edition of the show, I have Honorable Dr. Kande Yumkela saying Parliament, by omission, is aiding and abetting corruption or issues around accountability and things like that, because the Parliament is not doing what it is supposed to do. And he said he has moved motion even to debate the audit report and all of that. But based on those decisions and you taking up the stance, you've been called to the Ethics and Privileges Committee and you've been asked to apologize and retract your statement. Why haven't you done that so that you can have your seat back?
Why should I do that? I did not do anything wrong. I'm a human being, a grown-up and matured adult. How can I apologize for doing nothing? Is it that I want to appease the leadership because they said I should apologize? No, I did not do anything. What I did was purely within my powers, was purely within the powers given to me by both the standing orders and the Constitution. So had I apologized, it would have meant that me calling out Parliament, that Parliament did not utilize monies disbursed to them in 2018 and 2019 for oversight, was a lie. Had I apologize, it would have meant that me calling out Parliament, that the clerk, the controller, vote controller of Parliament, had not been using monies disbursed to Parliament for their intended purpose, was a lie. It means even the audit report that was a follow-up motion was moved by the Honorable Dr. Kande Yumkela. The initial motion, for the first time in the history of this country, when the 2018 report was tabled in December, I stood up and I told the Speaker that this must not go unnoticed, because subsection 5 of section 119 of the Constitution of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone says that Parliament shall, it is not a may, Parliament shall debate the report of the Auditor General, and the recommendations from that debate can be referred to a committee therein. As it is now, Parliament has constituted that committee to be the Committee on Public Accounts, but there is no mention of the public account in that provision, in that section. Yeah. So I told the Speaker that I'm moving a motion for this report to be debated. I followed it up with a formal motion. I sent it to the office of the clerk, copied the Speaker, copied the leader of government business at the time. It was Honorable C.D. Tunis. And I continued to remind in the chamber and even here in this studio. I have been at the AYV studio severally. I have reminded Parliament. I have called Parliament's attention. And there was a time I came here in the morning. On that very day, Parliament was in session. I went to Parliament thereafter, and the Speaker said, "The way I am going, I am not exhausting all the alternative in Parliament." I said, "I have exhausted all the options in Parliament. I have submitted the motion formally." And in the final analysis, when the issue was raised again by the person that seconded the motion, I seconded that motion, the Honorable Baiko, the chairman of the PAC said, the motion moved by me, seconded by him in December. The session in which that motion was moved has elapsed. That was what moved the Honorable Kande Yumkela to do a follow-up motion, to move another motion, seconded by the Honorable Asan Sise. But to date, we have not seen a debate on the Auditor General's report. Yesterday, the Auditor General's report was cast in stone, was the best document we have in Sierra Leone. Today, we are seeing people in the PAC calling the Auditor General's report a mere opinion. So why can't you allow us to debate that mere opinion so that the public understand that the Auditor General's report is just a mere opinion? It does not, she is not following the process. Already people understand that the MDAs are the one not following the process. Because if I could remember vividly, Paul Masakoy, the former procurement manager also from Maritime, was charged to court by the ACC. And I looked at the
and that's as a result from findings from the audit report. As a result,
one, findings from the audit reports, that's one. And secondly, the provisions that were quoted that he did not follow were all provisions in the Public Financial Management Act and the Anti-Corruption Act. It means if you fail to follow the process as laid out in the law, it means you are either attempting to perpetrate corruption or you have already conducted an activity in a corrupt way. And that is what the audit report is bringing to us. So why can't we debate it in public? So for me, these are the issues that I see has no bearing with me apologizing. Why should I apologize? If I apologize now, forget about all the other issues I've raised, about the audit report, about the issue of unaccountable interest. It means I did not believe in what I am saying, and I believe in what I say every day, because whatever I say in the interest of Sierra Leone, I say in the interest of this president, and I say in the interest of protecting his legacy and defend the manifesto of the SLPP. Don't forget that what the people used to assess us as a party was what we put out in public, and what we put out in public at the time was our manifesto, and the people read our manifesto, even the illiterates that do not understand the manifesto from the reading point of view, understand the messages that we put out on radios, on television, break it down, that we are going to fight corruption, that we are going to implement the audit recommendation. And in 4 different areas, go to page 56, 57, 58, and 59, it is clear that we said part of the problem in that manifesto for accountability in Sierra Leone is because Parliament is not doing its job.
And I wanted to take you on that. Now that you're calling out Parliament to ensure that.
Okay, we family them. I know for say this one has soon have been long one. So we don't sit down for about 25 minutes. We don't listen this very interesting interview where Samuel Wise Bangora of AYV, we tell them thank you because not in clip we they use. So we're acknowledging that. Sit down with Honorable Tawa Conte, where he asked some series of questions then, and where the Honorable himself been get term for sit down explain to the people them why he take the position where he take and why he not go relent from the stance where he currently take. One thing where he say way very interesting, he say why make I go beg for something one who say I not do. He say I not do nothing. He say I follow waiting the powers them where I get within where Parliament give me as a parliamentarian, and also where the Constitution give me. He says so if me no say me no do nothing wrong, why make I go apologize just because he get something for do with me party. But anyway, even before we sit down inside the talk proper, and I get some few questions, thing away come one for discuss. Make a pass on to CEO, make CEO tell we waiting have been you overall take away from this interview.
This interview, I think say it just brought here some of the things I already doing and then show you. The quick can say truth in all in different colors. Now one kind today. Anything when I do, when I know say when I do right, when I do not because of when I want anything out of her, when I do I'm the interest for make when I levels will continue better, it will prevail itself. Tawa, I think say most of we don't talk say Tawa in kind, they not boku na Salone. And Geva will come do similar thing, and Geva will back up. And I think I pull a video because he was caught up in corruption. With an all they cannot talk they expose the corruption. The gang turn on him. They what he do, a sing like a canary in the farm. This is just integrity. They is easy for see. A man with integrity tell you say, I'm not going to Parliament because I want to enrich myself, which are something that way I think say most people will not understand. Say, they go into politics or public service for get rich. If you want to get rich, you become a businessman. Public service now is one of the jobs that will get the lowest money when they pay you. But the job you do for people and the biggest job become the biggest honor. But we will get bunch of hoodlums them, bunch of direct money don't come, where then we know but don't school, but don't come overseas, they're not able to make up. They all the way them facing them for better, not through politics. You will see the big distinction between Honorable Givao and Honorable Tawa. And I will stand on this every day. Tawa stand up and say, I'm gonna resign. Givao go apologize. This is a big distinction between the two people and know and see exactly who that them be and what they stand for. But the unfortunate part now, Sierra Leoneans is that we the same people have for stand again or for fight for somebody like Tawa, we not go do and we go settlement because of we own interest. We interest right now. Now for some of our family members that went into politics right now, for me they enrich themselves. As much as we also will fight against corruption. And this is not just about APC or SPP. This is a gang. Like what I said, even the APC people, they're all involved in this. The NGC people, most of them involved into this. The C4Cs are all involved in this. Okay? They only pick and choose the kind of time when they come and holler for corruption. Tower in na politics. And I promise you, if we not stand for protect point like Tower, it go tell we not saying kind again. Because of we the people. Because now we they elect them, now we they gonna pull them and choose the people who want to put today. This don't exactly show we say Salone a day usa a day today, not because of the politicians then, but because of the mentality of we the Sierra Leoneans them, we the average Sierra Leoneans them, we because we mentality so dirty and poor and we so dirt in, we so stuck into corruption that we choose the one that we then fit to exactly and also they represent we. Because up to this day, so boy like Tower, all that you don't do so, even what you don't can say so, I promise you not everything. You don't everything because of several reasons. In fact, they go far enough for stifle them, for shut them down immediately, and make sure say it not show up anymore, not come up again. And anybody who sound like them, then for stifle them, they for shut them down. But in 60 years of independence, we don't know why. We still don't understand why we not get water, we not get good roads, we not get light. We still wait for that white man and get a tax money, then go feed without then I still the dance say they don't give more no money. In today, we never raise taxes, we never get job for raise taxes for feed one family them. We the wait there white man then take 2 cents and go give it all down, then I take the dance for donations. We they go find company mining that way nobody in the world, no they give no contract. But just for the name say we say don't cut investors them, we cut inside the country. At the expense of Sierra Leoneans them. You know what? Make I just hand them over to you because right now, if we say they go through all this, really, this don't show how appalling we are as citizens, as the people of people of that country. We are so appalling to the point that we you know what? I think so we deserve what we get. I think we as Sierra Leoneans deserve it until we come to the point wherein we understand that we actions then and exactly what they see so. We the ordinary citizens are so corrupt, are so backwards, are so tone deaf that even to the expense of who they lose their lives or family lifestyle, we don't get that courage for stand up for the truth. And I feel sorry for the poor guy. A man where it shows a loving country more than himself. Because if not salary me want to for resign. This I not tell you sometimes even the poor, not all poor money they put in some position. Because some right now if not salary they go guard instead of the interest of the country. This man says I not care about the interest, I not care about my salary, I not care about my position, I care about my interest of the country. If not go the way it's supposed to go, then another day. But the point is when you got about 99.9% of the people them all day inside that same kudum, that same kuhut day. You only got less than 1% of the people that would have made Salone before. Where we are. Because if you come from the media houses them, to the journalists them, to the member of parliament, to the ministers, to the party people them, to the presidents them, to the ordinary man, everybody's corrupt. The only time they talk now we go against their interests. That's the only time we sound things out when it goes against our interests. But as long as it's service with interest, we don't start smart. It work well. Because every time this guy talks so step by step by step. This is not a small, not in hundreds and in billions of dollars for cost Sierra Leone. But we are quiet. We are quiet. We know they say nothing. But we say one fight corruption. In which way? Because even the ACC say we go investigate parliament, we are not say work for candidate later. You will see the statement and say, oh, we not corrupt them. This is the Sierra Leone. We say wala better. Now make talk that what they talk say if they say that they give himself a cover, see somebody get and kill him. We fit in a cliche, but it makes sense because for later that country that you make them, it's not easy. If the only way they make them, you have to be corrupt or be a thief man. That's the only way. Not say we say go make an Salone. You have to be corrupt. You have to be part of the system. You have to be thief man for let make an Salone. If you're not a clean conscious Sierra Leonean, you go for do the right thing. You know they make up instead, then they shut you down. This is not the system we don't build. And the systems we parade for. And the system this we celebrate every single day. Because we as individuals and we're so greedy, we're so selfish, we're so self-centered that as long as it fits with your narratives, as long as it falls within we box, so we know say now we own small hoot it work for, it's okay. When we get people with national interest for stand up, whether not party or not, say at the stand for what is truth. If you not work at the step down. Happen if we the citizens are not turn up and put your foot down and say this and we know they fight for. Not to China and the crucify so today. Half of what I don't say nothing until China put out. But you get some people and they come out they ask for say they want evidence. I don't know which when I show the definition of evidence. They don't tell the people in the can and they pull one document. This boy don't pull all the document out. The same man back you talk about so in my marriage then I was said they're not going to hospital for it. The same way they talk to now they profit nothing from the government. But maybe because of tribe, because of region, or because of just plain stupidness, we they support the wrongdoings. At the document of life, our family in life, every country in life. We go after people and wait them for talk and shut them down and praise the chief man them within the poor country. This is who we are, Sierra Leonean. So I think the more they go into this, the more they get hyped up. This to make hypertension not can for Salone people. Yeah. So now back over to you.
You're too young for develop high blood pressure. High blood pressure na the kasanke for most Africans then. So we say God forbid, he not go be you kasanke. You see, the funny thing is that when we look at this, now this then Creoman can say, you know, peace and collat and well body better pass tight gently. Waiting Tawakonte describe a rather in peace and collat than they inside tight gently. Because you see, we get a situation where we get laws then, but we the people, we refuse to apply the laws then. We the people, for some selfish reason, one reason or the other, we return a blind eye to what is applicable and what is legal, to what is allowed and what is legal. Sometimes we are more about maybe this is allowed, but we are not so much about the what is legal. When you look at the statement where the ACC pull out, there is a very clear indication that you they see then they go for the jargon of what is allowed, but completely dismissing of what is legal. Because you see, at the end of the day, they end up for say na processes. Due processes were not followed. Due processes were not followed. It doesn't mean that this didn't happen that day, but due processes were not followed. Now we will work with Parliament, or we shall work with Parliament to establish and make sure and make sure there is an alignment within their processes. How long can that? How long can such excuses? You know what is really interesting here is like the stark differences between two parliamentarians them, where at the very beginning, at the start, they started at the same departure, but they didn't end at the same arrival. They decided to take different routes. And you know what to make them decide for taking routes? Then they just waiting Honorable Tawakonte say. He say Parliament, they refer, say the team. He say it is a team within a team. So, Now, like, when you join society, you feel say you dey part of the society, but the society get the agbakpa them wey sit down inside the society. And he
Of course.
even go in-depthly. He say these people have built a castle that is not easily broken. Una know wetin that mean?
No, in fact, make a stop, make a interrupt you small. It call your
Uh-huh.
name where things are not. I don't think so. You pick up that name there. Honorable City Tunis. You know
No,
that
no,
one
no.
they be?
I dey reach there. I no candidate. I was
No, you know
coming
that
there.
one name there. You know that one name there. You remember how they talk about the 1965 Public Order Act?
Mm-hmm.
That was the man where he talked about it stopped on a parliament, he not for go through because a man for please be you. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the time of ECOWAS
Yes.
parliament, because they never got a position there. So what he do is sell Sierra Leone, it makes sure say it stop everything at parliament and now say I need for protect Una so that I will get a position there.
Yeah.
That's how we find a way out. These are the people that are all the honor. And when you can social media, congratulations on what? I'll let back to you. I put
Exactly.
something and don't go.
Exactly. He said this is a castle that's been built by people who are not easily broken. And then he even go on to say when he dey explain the Salcab issue, and then he dey explain the Zulab issue, how can you give concession to a company without any financial audit? Arara no dey for trace the financial background. Arara no dey for see how they have weathered the storm. Arara no dey for see how they don't diversify them portfolio and how well their portfolios are doing within the international market. But you see, it's funny, we are so quick to chip ourselves away. We are so quick to diminish ourselves and our self-worth that what we end up for do? We go Congo markets. We go Congo, no, actually Congo market self, the trader then can sabi talk price, but we go Kuton Road. We Kuton Road not do, we like, okay, make we go down WAF. We go auction we self the quick. So what thing we do is that we auction we self quick one. And in a situation where now the investor for Giwi Bonya, we end up give the investor Bonya. This is what we've done with our country. In a situation where the investors should demonstrate, and then inside the our how do I call them, so company sustainability policy end up for give Salone more. Wetin we end up for do? We reduce for them. We give them discounts. They say the person for proof say he get a hold, he dey make an income of 50 million. Una go take 50 rand. 50 million rand. They say $50 million. Una take 50 million now. Not obonya una give the people. And then to even go forward, una give the people them so much freedom that they take the asset, but they do not take the liability that comes with the asset. How is that possible? How is that sound business?
Break and down because I don't say amount that start now liability and assets. So maybe let break and
Break
down
and down for them.
so that might actually
Break
understand
and
us
down
more.
for them. Break
Because I
and
think
down.
say we
Use us.
English
Use us
not
like
even
when somebody get
understand.
us.
So they tell you for talk say when you not pay house rent, the person you get the house, the let me say if snow for them or storm happen, the person you get the house, ain't going to cover you till you will walk back. But when you put it in at the house, you don't for pay nothing. This is the kind of arrangement Salone not make other people there. Say we will get the company, we want Salone will get the company, we for take all the losses. But you where the car for can't take we reach it and we can't carry and go. If anything go bad, you not for pay nothing back.
Now we go pay the damage.
No, I said
So
you
it
not
just
for pay nothing back,
say,
you for pay back for you back.
yes. It just sound like for say una we get us then and a Salone. Una ensure una host them. Fire can damage the host. Instead of make the insurance pay you the worth of the owes so you go able rebill your owes. No, 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 no. The insurance go say bonafide damage you owes. You go bill your owes back. Then when you say where that money what been done, they pay me insurance for 10 like this. Then the insurance go say, but me even say make we just dey keep her no more. So those are the
But
deals we are making.
this still they happen
We
because
dey
of one or
sell
two
we
people.
country for cocoa ebe. That is what we are doing. Selling our country for cocoa ebe. Even cocoa ebe self get value. Even cocoa ebe self get value because some cocoa ebe dey you defend plantain inside, you defend cocoa inside, you defend potato inside, you defend fish inside, you defend some man can even cook cocoa ebe, some man they put mango inside. But this one also na the palm no more and the pepper and yabas na inside this cocoa ebe with casada.
No, but you wonder why make we dey produce iron ore na Sierra Leone. They take the dirty, all the iron ore, then come overseas, then come process it and send them back. They buy on 10 times the price. We they produce timber na Salone, but when they send them overseas, they can make all the bed them everything and send them back na Salone, pay 10 times the price. But get your man at the country we not get job. But we get all the raw material, but we produce inside our young country. Because we get politicians that when they go make this deal, then give them small chicken change, then throw we entire country. In fact, I make one no white man no respect we. One
Not to
white man no
chicken
respect
change, not to chicken change. Tawa Kolam, he said the giver of the meat has collected something from behind. He said when you challenge institutions, he said when you challenge institutions and you challenge the operations of certain things, then when you sit in or they go right, you call them like this Salcab business, the way it be one for investigate them, like this Zula business, the way it be one for investigate them, but who that they put stop to them, the leader of government business. Instead of thinking about the people, what the people stand to benefit or what the people stand to lose, instead, then concerned about embarrassing the minister. Is the minister not a public servant? Was the minister appointed to run the affairs and to seek and work for the interest of Sierra Leoneans? Should the embarrassment of the minister be primary? Should it be of concern? Or should it be...
What's the embarrassment? What's the embarrassing? I would ask you for this is not what you don't sign say you get for account for what you do. So what are the embarrassments now? The embarrassment not saying embarrassed. Now we will be embarrassed for the kind of people who they put into power. Now we will be embarrassed the kind of parliament who would they elect. Now for embarrassed for the kind of presidents put in place. The embarrassment go to Sierra Leone, not to the minister. This minister are mere public servants. These are house boys them in terms of running the country. These are house boys in terms of running the country. Now they talk say you're embarrassed. Where they only tell for fix the envelope for themselves and emboss them, the president them.
This is what happens when we do not have our priorities in place. This is what happened. Now this they happen when we not know waiting we leaders then supposed for do, and that our leaders are meant to be our servants and not the other way around. That we leaders, they're not demigods. That they are there to work in the interest of the people. And that the people, they're not a turnaround forbidden servants, but that they are the servants of the people. So you see, when such incidents and when such issue happen, when a minister has been put into the status of a demigod or a god, then they forget waiting and did it for the people. So you get into this situation where Tawa they talk about, we say the giver of the meat has collected their own share behind closed doors. So you get into a situation where instead of a government leader of parliament or the leader of government business saying that, yes, Tawa, go ahead, probe as much as you want, dig as much as you want, turns around and say, let the session be closed because you will be embarrassing the minister. and
In
say
fact,
that that Kebe should not be interviewed. He should not be made to answer question. Udana Kebe. Kebe not to somebody where we elect for work for the people of Sierra Leone. But yet you will see people coming attacking people like Matilda, attacking people like Taiwa, attacking other people that sits here and try for illuminate, try for shed light on them Tiaso. Why?
because of because of political, because of either regional interests, or because most of the people they benefit too. Now small amounts of benefit. Now small amount of benefit. Okay, in fact, the other tactics I don't see the play right now, they not begin saying about enough attack the Auditor General's office. Then
Yeah,
it's send enough for discredit them because they know say the report will they come next year. It got to be so damning that this party will not be careful, not even win election. So none of the tactics is they make we need for cuts before them right now. Let the Sierra Leone know say this not tactics, they don't pay about them for begin attack the Auditor General's office. They make fake information and put them online. How they get for then they sue them, how they need for pay money back. This is all lies. Okay. What are the planning for do right now? To what we don't know. The administration already knows. Say the first lady in also this Bokutin they come out from the chief minister to everybody. It's so damning that the amount of they talk about so when the way they don't thief and misappropriate, it got to be 3 times bigger than what in this past 2 government the past couple years all they talk about. So now they're not begin put the dirty work in now for sending Boboya for kind of social media for come out and discredit the Auditor General's office. We need to get up now and stand up and protect the institutions there now. And make sure, say, we spread the message to people and say, everything is the way people are saying a lie. Because they know, say, whether report they come next year, it going to be so damning, there's a possibility they're not going to win election. So we therefore stand now and talk about it now. Because they're fit and smart, they're not smart. These are pay agents who they pay, can destroy the image of a country. For destroying few institutions we have for building right now, they never build one better institution at all. They never build one eight.
exactly.
The effort they need to have for destroying. And that will not go great.
Yeah, we not go agree. And it's funny how the leader of government business in your concern now the embarrassment or alleged embarrassment or apparent embarrassment of a minister where the very minister where for don't do in work, don't do due diligence and thorough research, sit on the talk say, the company, now an international company, can go through international bidding. How a company go through international bidding when a satellite office? Tawabi don't explain what in satellite office mean. It means say they not get an actual structure. Now post box then get. Company where get post box na other man country. Where they left in asset inside your country. But where they give the company assets to make it take over, but not the liability of the company. Now that minister they on our make we go battle and make we praise.
What
deal have they done that would benefit the ordinary Sierra Leonean people in this instance? Una we can sit on the trumpet and say we sit on the bad mouth and they talk bad and we know they appreciate. What good is in that deal? When a minister stands in front of parliament and say everyone will retain their job, but then few seconds later after leaving parliament, it twists the sentence around. Now that's what make we defend. Isn't there something that goes for integrity? I will go to the caller then. Caller, waiting on your name and no side. Okay, so make we continue.
No,
isn't that something that stands for integrity?
No, now similar thing they do with the airport. They're so worried about these so-called investors. They can pick up any trash can and cut in Sierra Leone. This is not a company where they don't filing for bankruptcy. Now company not get no money. They understand they made them go trust money other side. Can't build airport, take them for 25 years. All I revenue if I go to Sierra Leone, not they go to Wiggy, they go to this company here, just on the name of say we want for out investor. Because man.
I know.
Sierra Leone, are we?
So what thing we they do is that we they dip we self inside more and more. They put we self inside more debt without any projection of profit or any tangible, trickling down of wealth to the population, but that we are just focused on looking at what we stand to gain, that small brown envelope, that small 10% or whatever percent that we personally stand for gain, but not letting the people of Sierra Leone collectively stand for loss. In your arrogance, in your decision making.
Oh my God. No, it's
Una they
funny
attack
because
the Auditor General. Una they attack the Auditor General. But look at it. Like Tawakonte said, and many others have said, Parliament gets enormous power. And he say the problem with Sierra Leone lies within the walls of Parliament. So what did that mean? The people the way we they put for represent we. They are the dishonest one. They are the one that are not worth their salt. They are the one that are not standing and speaking for the collective interest of the people, but speaking for their own collective interest. Una they try for discredit the Auditor General. Una they put pressure upon him for make him resign, because that is the only office that has withstood the weather and withstood the test of time. Showing impartiality, being unbiased and professional and ethical in their work. So now una don't go on, una don't begin a smear campaign. A smeared campaign. Look at the stark difference of waiting una pressure and not doing the work that waiting una supposed for doing cause. Look at Honorable Guevara, at one point standing with the people and for the people, and everybody applauding him and say, if the likes of you are in Parliament, then maybe, just maybe, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I go come back to in statement, make I go to the caller. Caller, waiting are your name and also you they call from.
Hello.
Yes, caller, waiting are your name and also you they call from.
Yeah, Mina Aji, I call from London.
Okay, go ahead. What you get for we this evening?
I'll be waiting on my program anyway. Yeah, because I be live. All those who talk so, I be don't talk. I be live. I just come out in our kind on a program.
Okay.
You see the country. You see this country. All them politicians are the same. They're all not the same. The sister, they're all not the same. What to make a talk so? Now look people in the suffer. The opposition party, they sit down. They know the common as street, they know the talk, they need to do nothing. Nothing they need to do. Then they want people they come on the streets for go protest for them. And I make who say right now they kind of the media they tell the people they don't go on the streets for nobody. Because what they get for kind of power, now they get for enjoy, now their family get for enjoy, not to the poor people then. So then nobody no go on the streets right now for protect for any politician. Because this we don't see now say this they all are the same. Because look what happened in the country. Look what happened na Parliament. Yeah? They're all not the same. Look the money they what they know get account na Parliament. After that, what they say, the ACC say na both case. They not the witness. So all them here, how we country go before. So all them people there, my dear, they all are the same. They all not the same. They all, and tell you now, they all are the same. So the advice I get for people that down there, let nobody know go to street or no politician again. They all are the same. I mean, contribution this one again. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. I'll go to the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and also you they call from. Okay, so like I've been saying, here we get a situation where we feel say finally people them are be bold enough, people them be honest enough that then they'll hear the cry of the masses, and that they are ready to work for the people and not just for their immediate families and for their own self-satisfaction and gain. But like Honorable Tawa Conte say, the people that have built this castle are not easily broken. It is a team within a team. The giver of the meat has collected something from behind. I want to see you the stark difference of Honorable Givao in statement to demonstrate that the people behind the castle are not easily broken. And when the giver of the meat gives, what happens to the people? When the giver of the meat gives and the receiver refuses to collect, what happens? Here is a case with Honorable Tawa Conte. It says this parliament does not believe in people that have the ability to challenge the status quo and are ready to do things right. This is when the castle that cannot easily be broken, the foundation don't begin disintegrate and don't begin shake. And that when the giver of the meat gives, the taker refuses to take and swallow. But let us go to Honorable Gevao even before I go back to the phone line. Here is the stark difference. When we go to Honorable Gevao in statement, waiting Honorable Gevao, waiting at the ion point of departure. I will go to the technical team, make them put that day up quickly, please. It says, I am not a bishop, I am not a reverend, I am not a pastor, but mark my words, if this nation called Sierra Leone, this nation that is seeing everything that is happening in Parliament, that I spoke of, failed to come to my aid and stand in my defense and allow me to be punished for speaking the truth, agony shall befall the nation I call Sierra Leone. This is when the giver of the meat gives and the taker refuses to take. But then what happened in his case? The castle held together so tight that the receiver had to swallow. I go to the next caller. Caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call for?
Me no brother Steven, how do you do?
No bad, are you safe?
I do fine. I tell you thank you, and I think I'm a third time for call on this program, and I admire your courage, the sense, passion, you know. What's the reason why they, you know, they at that studio, they talk, passion, get passion for that country. Now I let things move. When they move, my sister, but I don't tell you now. Me as somebody, being a psychology student, I study human behavior, how much amount they think. You know what's they go on in that country? No, the politicians are not to them fault. The population not to them fault. You know what's they go on? We there under something, nothing wrong with it, but something they happen with we. In psychology, you know how they call them. I don't know the last time. Every behavior they function within a context, and every context. Any context, then they give rise, then they self perpetuate, then they self supervise how certain things will happen. The conditioning of the mind, we won't begin from a condition in the mind from 0 to 12. Whoever makes use of the mind from 0 to 12 is bound for domination. Within that country, even if you put all man, it count fresh with them, then we end up being the same because there is a context out there. I somebody will call it spiritual. They say maybe that's something that happens in our spirit now. Now the human mind is like a computer. Whatever you put inside the human mind, now in the function, What's in that country? Now the mind, now we mindset. It's so lame when they put in a school. Not of the school. The school not there for educate you. The school they socialize you. Have a function within a context. Have a function within a social construct. Like what's in the happen when put them in Jumna Street, or you man the Jumna Street, when we not saying that serious at the talk, what's in the happen? There is a soul inside you. Every human being get a soul inside where they resist to injustice, where they resist to anything we no fear. Then they make una studios, they make some of don't care with the talk and it is soul inside you. But whenever they control and program that in mind, one of the things that happen to you, that soul will die inside you. May also put them as alone, the soul will die inside them. Anytime somebody become insensitive or become impassive to your own affliction or your own something that happened to them, something that happened to them, they know. With the mind is being governed by the unconscious. We shall not put them now the unconscious and they govern and mind them. What's in our country? They don't there for years, and get for days. The best picture of what will happen tomorrow is what happened today. And we go to Mali, them they say they happen. People they say I'm a prophet, and now they will not study their mind. Everything going on our country, now they now put their mind, then they afflict them. There is nothing. Remember when they cannot be brother they say, now they put the way they go dive, where they talk, where they did that, then they smart bad and they watch the system they engulf it, the system they most you, because they wouldn't be in love with the politicians. Who does that? How can you be in love with your oppressor? Each time you take your oppressor as an object of affection, like you didn't love affairs. Many of we would have adult than you didn't love affair. Anytime you become so obsessed with the other partner, you don't put another driver's seat for take advantage, then they dictate. Unless we educate people, unless we psychologically deliver people them. Many say they need say APC and SFPP, they are not the solution. But this is the problem. This is the problem I get. How come the very people them when they not say SFP and APC and they don't count all the top in the country, but they vote for them? Man, what's it happen? Who does that? Because the unconscious and they govern them. Information, most of what they do so, what happened they do not alone. Their information they disseminate at the media. Information does not necessarily change people. Now, if you go to that bar and I left left street, if you don't get a replacement activity for them, from a level to the farm, when you come back, they go back. If you go back to outside day. So all the time about information necessarily not they change people. They put their mind has been programmed. What do you have to do? The abolitionist now Douglas once he said it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. The country almost broken. Anybody will go and end up being the same. Where do we have to start? We have to go back. We have to go back. So what I put the courage for bring the young generation, inspire them, put something inside. We are not nothing they're happy with them. They don't know. They are being ruled by the unconscious. They have to continue. But where might bring, man? It's predictable, man. Whosoever might bring the system is a self-perpetuated, it's self-supervising.
Indeed. The deconstruction and reconstruction of the mind is where it starts and where it ends. Just like the caller say, how can you be in love with your oppressor? But there is a theory. There is a theory that supports that sometimes people can actually see their oppressors as their savior. How that happened is psychological shift, a psychological imbalance, a closure of your total functionality of your mind, mind, body, and soul have been completely put in balance. They are not speaking to each other. They are not aligned with each other. Therefore, you begin to make fictitious reality actual reality. Now we see how, Marcella Samba says something. Make her go to the recent quote of two of, one winner, an activist lawyer, human rights lawyer, Augustine Mara. And then we also get a social, civil society activist. Augustine Mara recently tweeted, I believe, either this morning or yesterday. He said, if governments can't create new strong institutions as they promise, we'll forgive them. but to destroy the few ones we have is unacceptable. Ego should not be put ahead of national interest. The audit service should be celebrated and not bullied for doing their work. And in the same vein, we see Usai Marcela Samba also took onto a Twitter and say, we want to reiterate that the ongoing attempt to undermine the audit service Sierra Leone and render the institution incapable is an affront to its institutional independence and state building. So when una not gets the person for dance to una tune, now una they take on to defaming, you know, for intentionally undermining their work. Una go recall few weeks, actually about a month or so ago, as Sidon Ayaso, where the ACC boss, they give an account of their investigation where they do of the audit service and how we present them. I sit on Ayaso and I'm like, listen, the groundwork has been laid, people. This is the train. Get ready. Ping pong, ping pong. Now they can't begin here because the train has started moving. The captain of the train has turned on the engine and there is no stopping. And this is what we are seeing. I don't get anything against Francis Ben Kelfala. But the one thing I have against him is, if in your name and under your watch, the people of Sierra Leone are made to suffer because of your allegiance, Governor Clark's in self prayer not go do for you. Because we're at the junction where we cannot keep silence anymore. I don't say it too many times. Some of us want to go back home. Some of us have things we want to realize home. If a president is saying, come back home, it is time. Come develop. Come be part of the development. But when things happen, we don't then as a society, when things happen with a question, the status quo is not maintained. We're allowed to question, we're allowed to dig, we're allowed to probe, and we're allowed to get answers. But if we are taking that same attitude, that same ethics, and then all we tune want now for shut we down and say, oh, it was just a matter of a flood in the system of the procedure, the implementation of the process, when you clearly know there's been a breach, a serious breach in the legalities and the application of things. Una make we left them kind joke asobo. Una make we left them kind joke aso if we serious. Call her waiting at your name and also you they call for.
Hello.
Yes, caller.
Yeah. Yes. Me and Mohammed Ali call from Maryland. I just want to deviate from that previous caller. We call see the people, Sierra Leone people, mindset they don't condition, like they don't find a way out for. Indeed, it is true. Most like 60 to 70% of people in Sierra Leone, in their mind, they don't condition to constrain. They don't accept. They don't get blinded and with tribalism, political greed, all that in the but I can tell you, leadership now will lack that alone. One gay man able for change the whole situation. Now leadership now will lack. Look like the likes of Tawa. In a example, one gay man they make an impact. Look like the likes of Chernobyl. One gay man able make an impact in a country. Now we take the likes of Rwanda, who don't cause the worstest atrocity to themselves. They don't kill themselves. They don't destroy themselves. But we one great man we get the vision, we get the power. We just need the right person to get the power for dealing at the seat of power. We get a vision for the country. It will change. The people in mind say they don't condition because they don't get no way, they don't get no other outlet. All the leadership from politics, from religion, from community leaders, them, now the offices, them, all manner contaminate. Just like which I was saying. The one we share the beef, we don't already get your own courts. So the rest of mankind, then just they give them what they feel still them forgive them. Then a self-interest. We need a selfless leader. Somebody, a president, we need a selfless leader like the Magufuli, like the Paul Kagame of Rwanda, like the Chernobyl and the Tawaz. If we get people, we get a few percent of the alone, we get our mindset, but we not get the opportunity, not get the upper hand. Now make the society they go to the decay where they go. So every sector, every facet of that society they don't decay. The one that we get the mindset, we get the vision, we get the selflessness, no not get the power, no not get the upper hand for take control. All the people that we in control are the rogue people, the wrong Sierra Leone, the people that we not even fit for exist now with society there. Now they are the main power, now they get the upper hand for call the shot na Salone. Na dani na u predicament, na dani na u mayhem, na dani na u bad luck. We not get a visionary leader, selfless leader like the Paul Kagame and the Magufuli and the Chernobyl and the Tawaden. We them for stand up. Look what they do. The Wange institution we want for survive through this decadence. We are the auditors or the general service. Now they for don't come back soon. They want destroy and they want crumble them because we for succumb to the corruption, to the decay where they exist. So now the problem and we get leadership alone. Leadership. So now I'm your contribution and the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. I will go to the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who side you call from.
Keisha Fofana from USA, Dallas, Texas.
Okay, what's your contribution?
You know, when the guy was talking about the young generation, from my experience, I noticed a lot of older ones that's not sick. They not disciplined with the wisdom and knowledge that they should have in order to discipline the young generation. And here it is. God has to use the young ones sometimes just to teach the older ones something. And the caller should understand that knowledge goes above and beyond age. So never limitate no one on their age.
Okay, absolutely. Knowledge goes beyond age, yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there to let them know.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller. So, waiting this caller also been the try for talk. For the one that we not be understand, he say, sometimes make we know just they focus on the older generation, that the young generation, them now valued contributors, and that sometimes it take the younger generation for teach the older generation some of the right thing for do. And when you look at the situation of Tawa Conte, it say, knowledge go beyond age. He say age not get nothing for do with wisdom, because sometimes they even small pikin self can get wisdom passing papa way born am. Na then the caller been dey try for say. Make I go to CEO. CEO, what do you think about this undue pressure where then they mount on, Lara Telopius institution? I don't think that the pressure itself is on the Auditor General's office. I think it's on the person heading that particular office.
Well, I think say maybe the expectation for like a long time safe, late for come. Okay, I'm the expectation long time for come. This is not the institution is where government after government they go for they go against they go after the government with in power, and the one who not in power. We not get a single institution that country don't ever do them. It happened because of that one individual. Also, I pull video at the talk and say, I wish say the ACC for don't be like the Auditor General's office because of when you get an independent body where they go after people that were in power, it's not easy. For let we change, fight corruption and changing the Salone, and that we only action that one day. But now, let we look at the what's in the go on. Like I will say, this is not just a strategy because not to just SAPP, but both APC and SAPP want for scrap that office because they're noticing that one of the gateway that one day for stop the corruption, the leakage of corruption. So this is a deliberate action from all the parties there. Most of the parties, most especially the APC SAPP party. This is not a deliberate action from them for make sure say then scrap this woman, take them off day, put one of their own day. Because they know if they put their own day, they get to open. So if we say Salone bad now, make them pull out money, make them put one of them, they couldn't see. So we only action right now is we at the media need for step up and mobilize people them, sensitize them, and start for do similar bombardment as in the bombard people with information for no say. We only remedy right now. We only up police looking before. Now only that office right now we get. The ACC now a party office right now. We not get somebody that way independent. So a lot of peers will fight on your own. And now we're able. They only tell a lot of peers go fight now where you get the support of Sierra Leoneans them. And that go happen from we that the media stand up now for begin make audios them, videos them, and come out and continue for attack the one and the attack them and make sure see if we not patriotic Sierra Leoneans them, make we not see them fall on a full foot, but stand up for fight. This is not about APC SAPP because both APC SAPP or even NGC or the kind of power, they all want to get that free gets the student who can't spend and spend, waste it anyways, and all then agencies them then all want that free money. This woman and then they put up my follow we know say 10 years what's in the going all right now then they waste the money, now they thief the money. So if I make that happen, we get to make sure say we the citizens support her. Just like with again, we not support our slowly we lost some electoral if we're not enough. So I think say we need for continue now for ratchet up a campaign and no say people like the towers, people like the peers. We need for stand up and people like the Chernobyl's. We need for make sure say we protect them at all means. Okay.
Exactly. People then we don't demonstrate say they are true gatekeepers, true custodians of rules and regulations, and the implementations of rules and regulations, the methodological and systematical, applications of systems that are put in place to guard against corruption, to guard against, theft, to make sure that we build strong institutions, strong nations. Then we have to defend these people. We not get any choice. We need for defend them. We need for team up behind them. We need for shield them. Tranga one. We cannot sit here and allow, the ruling party for bully them out of their office or for silence them because we need them voices there. So if we allow this to happen, not trust me, Salone don't doom. Salone don't doom. Because anybody can just come do what he want for do, say what he want for say, so long as na then a power, so long as na then they rule, then it mean for say they are untouchable. No, we cannot have institutions where people are untouchable. Una see Usai France, former president, waiting I name self. Gosh, what's the guy's name?
Nicolas Sarkozy.
Sarkozy. Una don't see former president Nicolas Sarkozy. Not to in West Sidon na jail, inside France. Una don't see even Trump they still they investigate them. Una don't see where big man them inside society have been put to jail, have been penalized, have been fined. People they don't lost their careers them because of certain things where then they do. Una don't see Usai one old member of parliament inside England resign. He resigned not just because of something where he do or something where a man do. Because when they go through the state bills, the state finance, they notice a man go watch porn, go pay for porn. Not to do a more the woman self no. But because now the states they pay in bill, when they see that bill, they then say, this why also irregularities. She was not only made to apologize, but she was made to resign her job.
Real.
Because the
Well, we get
reason for which
well, we get we a member of parliament, we get we own speaker of the parliament, tinap utin dingeling tinap na states, the whole side. You open the can't defend and say now in private life. This is not the country how we
exactly.
come out. Yeah, we didn't tinap in defend the wrong thing. We didn't say the constitution, but it turn around and go after ordinary give out say it go do something where immoral
But
against
that's not
parliament.
only thing. That may not even the last them. We not see photos them of the former president Victor Fo,
Victor
Ian
for
in
vice president.
banana and in chunkulunku, all the
Yeah.
nado, all the parade, and then we see the same thing of the current Speaker of the House in Dankalenke, all the nado, the parade. But then you would have people who would come and defend these actions, saying a privacy. Privacy, when not maintained, when you are a public servant and you represent a public institution and you are the face of a country, the moment where you decide to take certain position and you become the face of the country, guess what? You lose your rights to privacy.
But not to that self, Matilda. The person said, wait, him in the wait. Okay, not in wife him in the wait. This now small people will born where they go sleep with the and one how many of them they sleep with in the street. These are people that we talk to now they're for one institutions and for people who role model them. That don't say we how we as people and say that at the country we might how we
Exactly.
so down because this
And
is not
that
about
was
them. This
around
is
the
about we
same time. That was around the same time when Mama Kparab in the launch in hands of our girls. Why didn't you set an example with the Speaker of Parliament right there and then?
Yeah.
Right
Listen,
there and then.
Not them.
Una
This
too
shows
hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is too much. The hypocrisy is too much. When are we going to be real with ourselves? When are we going to start having real conversations and real talk and make we left this kind water side business?
But we not get no morals. It's no it's like that we not break in the wrong way. Like we don't break all the records for the wrong things. We not ever make any stake on something where they push it forward. Every two we don't break for record on something make on something bad. That's it now for so now we begin copy the institutions in overseas. Like America, you could think begin say why do we compare Salone to America or Salone to UK? But when it comes to something bad, can't see now they first look America don't do it. Why make Salone not go do it? So we always get it for plug in all the wrong thing, but wonder why make we not move anywhere. We not shake self again inside. Because we not ever make example for something good. We choose people that we know say they not get they are morally bankrupt. This are our because the person that represents you, now you. Now a mimic of who that you be. This now the people that we get. I mean it's shit. I mean they want everything union. Now we left for the go make us look so stupid in front of people and talk say we get diamond, we get gold, we get boxer, we get router, we get this. This is the most domestic way as they continue for do. You get boxer, you get gold, you get router, you not get side for sleep, you don't get food for
Exactly.
eat. The amount
Exactly. 70 plus of your youth population are languishing without jobs.
That we know the shape for talk so we get minerals. No, we don't have minerals. The minerals, the minerals in just in a Salomon, not we own. You get with the mine diamond, we don't have for polish diamond. With the mine iron ore, but we don't have for polish iron ore. We get one of the highest youth population in the world. They not get job, but with the ship them overseas for open factory. When we get a leader, we gonna say all of my products for police inside the country, give people their own job. They will send an house now for sale. That is what you call leadership. The percentage when they give it, then when you go now, we country go mine with minerals then you go mine with minerals there, then pay with less than 5% of every token in the country. We say we get minerals. No, you don't have minerals. You just keep on your country. The person gets on the white man. How so stupid we as Africans, Belgium not get one diamond inside Belgium. Belgium has the capacity for all diamonds around the world.
Could you imagine?
Belgium had the harbor for all diamonds around the world.
Recently, when was it? Either this morning or yesterday. Nana. Sorry, when I said Nana, I'm talking about Nana Akufo-Addo. Okay, the current president of Ghana. So Nana did something very interesting. He stopped all exporting of their cocoa to Switzerland. Waiting in justification. And Ghana makes one of the best chocolates, by the way. He said waiting for make we go to continue for the supply with cacao to this country for manufacture and make so much profit now we aid where we can industrialize inside here and then export them to them and make them buy them and left with revenue. We went at the producer of the raw materials. He says, so this stop, no more exporting. And he is so right. This is what you call leadership. This is what you call taking ownership. Taking ownership. Taking ownership and building for your people.
I mean,
You know,
but then
the law inside
Ivory Coast,
Parliament.
Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Ghana, and 3 countries is the highest cocoa in the world. Well,
Yes.
most of the citizens they're not even get the privilege for eat chocolates and the countries.
No, no. They don't know what's in a chocolate. They don't want to taste chocolate. But yet, then don't they farm. Some of these farmers are generational farmers of cacao, of cocoa, in the Ivory Coast or in Ghana. I mean, look at shea butter. Look at the price of shea butter around the world now. Ghana is one of the highest producers of shea butter. And when they realize the potential, then self begin make their own things then. This is how you repurpose and build.
We not go buy them. You make a brand thing as Salone, and Salone they come back and begin condemn her. Begin to get a false name. But one for buy still come on overseas where the products and that country they come out. Now it's now country they come out in Canada, they just can't put them together. But what we make inside your country, the same Salone might not get thing for it, where it is and they can get a nickname. This is how we've been programmed, our mental way of thinking.
Exactly. I've been very intentional lately. I know they use Whiteman product too, but I've been very intentional lately to really buy from Africans, buy from African entrepreneurs, buy from the African market. But like I've been very, very, that thing I've been done to do for years, but lately I've been very intentional as to who my dollar goes to, who my dollar empowers, who my dollar builds.
Now that's where
Then they're very, very important.
So
And I saw entrepreneurs them for buy, for whatever, for source things them. It is unbelievable that Parliament is mandated to go over the Auditor General's report, to make recommendations through a committee. But when that is demanded in Parliament, then they skip them over, then gloss over, and they make like say they don't understand. Until the thing die down.
Because they're only on payroll. These guys are on payroll. These guys are getting paid from their loopholes. They are on the payroll. Because as long as the parliament corrupt, the entire country will continue for corrupt. They don't really get a better parliament, Salone don't change. So you're not going for work. They make the all the work for them party. So from Mr. Mada to or chairman for life, then get them envelope where they come. So any company where they come, if they could toxic. Okay, you get 31 million. We get 31 million point 8 only get. That 800,000 now that get her. What's that 0.8 the way you not shop my document? Okay, that 800,000 now. So Mr. Parliament now to boss at the top now everything on my your share. This is the problem, and we'll not see like it didn't know we face vividly, but not the same. No, we the same. We just ignore them because we not say it benefits some people. Them. We get for it. We say really for because the good thing is when the diaspora now we get for safe Sierra Leone. The one they inside the right now they're not get for see them. Now when it hits at their face, so now even when they hit, they know they see them. So as I say, I think the word out now we need for continue for do what they do, need for put the pressure, need for come out and sensitize, and for take a long time. But we slowly, at least say then we'll get them with time. But if not to that, we continue not get nowhere to go.
Indeed.
I mean, we don't
Here is another instance. Here is another instance of how the giver of the meat has collected something behind the scenes, and therefore the castle is so still, the foundation is so sidon that it cannot be easily broken. Make I ask we technical team, make them play a video of the leader of the opposition where it brings something come to light and how that was treated.
Speaker, as I said, we agreed that 2021 it should not be business as usual. But it seems that we have started on the same business as usual, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was shocked when I read yesterday that the first shipment of iron ore by King Home Mining took place last Friday. I was shocked. Mr. Speaker, I saw it through a publication by Reuters. There is no way we will ship iron ore without having an agreement ratified by this House. It should not happen, Mr. Speaker. Under what terms and conditions we can ship iron ore? We don't have any details. We don't know the quantity of tailings on the ground. We don't know the conditions under which they are going to take over. They have not mined a single ore, but yet still they have exported ore. On what conditions, Mr. Speaker? And if you go to section 40 of the Constitution, it is very, very clear, Mr. Speaker. And you will tie that with section 110, because there is no way they will have shipped this iron ore after having repaired the rail, which is also a property of the government of Sierra Leone. That rail also is the property of the government of Sierra Leone. So for them to use it, there might have been conditions, financial or otherwise. And 110 makes it very clear whether we are going to waive, we are going to impose, etc. Parliament must give it approval. Mr. Speaker, many things are going on which are not supposed to go on. And I think I'll be engaging the leader of government business after this sitting. Last year we raised issues on specific agreements. One of them came, the other is yet to come to this House. We have to stop these things, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, if you go to section 40 of the Constitution, the executive powers of the President, Mr. Speaker, even when he delegates, the proviso is very clear that any treaty, agreement or convention executed by, which is done by the President or under the authority of the President, it must come to this House. And Mr. Speaker, the ore that was on ground belongs to the people of this country. We want the benefits, yes, but we must follow the procedures. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, I am urging you to get the Minister of Mines to come to this House and explain to us what are the terms and conditions entered so far, and that they must stop all shipment until we get an agreement ratified by this House. It's unacceptable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman.
In Nayaso is we say we board as the lock, we say we get state of emergency, we say international waters, but somehow we or they left the shores of Sierra Leone without a contractual agreement approved by Parliament. How is supposed to go before? Who is fooling who here, people? When I say we dey talk, we dey this, we dey that, but who is fooling who? If we continue to play this Dumbo Damba, Dumbo the Bom Bom, Dumbo the Dum Dum, or make we just all set with mouths, we then we air conditioning house, we get it, we get light 24/7. Sometimes God manage give we one small job or they take our ban. You know, we are content to side with there, we not care again, but to side with people and come out, or who side we by God's grace, you know, our numberings were buried, and then God give we sababu for Kanaya. I mean, let us have a frank conversation. If this is what we want at 60, let us be honest. Some people are not say make we divide the country and sell them. Some people are not say make we go back to colonial rule. All man they talking on. But you cannot say you are fighting for the people and then you they flange. Come in flanchissement in the processus complete. Eh? Una make a talk say I forget me English, I go inside other language. Make I go to My goodness.
We again, now we look at again. I can like for use Ghana as an example. Okay, we not go ask what in Ghana do right for make we then see the year of the return. Okay, right now you get plenty African Americans and they go relocate inside Ghana, take their money and everything we not work for the resources there from the stock market, go invest them inside Ghana. The Ghana will see today in the next 5 or 10 years, it can be a different Ghana because you don't get more wealth they come inside the country. The
They
Salone
are
City,
slowly moving to a middle income country. In the next 5-10 years, they are going to pass. We know they talk well. In fact, I get for pat me potomantul. And some of them don't call me Ghanaian. So when I pack me potomantul, una no see me na Salone, una no see me potomantul land.
it's just that it says Salone and Nigeria. Now we Nigeria for the first Nigeria the first picking now we Nigeria call the power the corruption. Like we know the copy, take the time for even look what in Ghana they do right and say we copy them here. No being I mean. First of all, if you want for a develop, you can't get forget water, you can forget light, you can forget road. Then tell the top so Rollins work on them here 30 years back. 30 years and get them here in place. Then they begin hard on them. You know, every African country get tribal business, they get regional and go that. But guess what? Every time we see any new president wake up, what is it? Then they bring all them former presidents, they see the all sit down together and they play and they laugh. Then every year, then they come together and get to that one meeting. They for sure the entire Ghana say we all are one politicians. There. We all work for Ghana. The president they consult all the presidents here where he get issue. Now we get this one here where the MPs don't know say then told the thief on our needs. The MPs say now we then the fool because not say all the meetings they do. We not say then they hang out because the same Fatima Biye talk say President Koman a thief man. Well, I'm going to meet up now Senegal. Ivory Coast. I don't know why I can always mix Ivory Coast and Senegal. When I meet Ivory Coast,
now inside Ouattara.
Ivory Coast, they turn in body. Now then, they talk now for be Salone because if you say one of the dumbest people ever, we don't know what they do behind the scene. Okay, because one means now showing when I come back, when I come back, then Kuruma don't turn thief man again. But yeah, we were so full, no, not to think to go because we're dumb. But the truth is, it is true, we are dumb. Because we the CMC, the APC people know this is politicians against us. Okay, this is a political warfare. Because anyone we come, they all left the hole for each other. The thief for APC thief, we left that way they go, they left the pipe. Then show the people say they left the pipe. You say can't go your own. Where's the people they come out without the candy? Then show say the pipe. Then now you say can pull your own pipe. The same ACC boss say the first in faith. When you go to Parliament, what you talk say, where they misappropriate the fund, but we go work with them. We not say they not use the money, they for use the money. Some people are eating money the wrong way, but to go for work with them. But when another man, ordinary person, it ain't a prison right now. But
May I tell you something? May I tell you something? University days, right? Not until today I don't begin to do this kind of thing, you know. University days, there were a bunch of us who will, host programs, do this, do that, looking at things then profoundly. May I tell you? Some of the me paddy them where we all can sit on a table, they talk and this, that. I mean, granted, I took more of the writing, academic writing, type route first, and then field route before then I come back and now they do this and then they do whatever. When them in they criticize country like Ghana, then leadership, then Nigeria, Senegal, what other country? They were like a court country where we all can get together. All them party then they. If they are not back home in Nigeria, they are back home in Ghana, they are back home in Senegal, they are back home, called back by their government. They're like, okay, definitely you guys are young. There is something you are seeing that we are missing. Come back home. We will set you up. We will give you the tools. Work with us. One of the biggest movie directors right now in Ghana, Pascal Aka. That was it. One of the biggest, television and TV hosts, Christel. Same thing. in Nigeria. I mean, I can name names upon names. You know, me for say they were not met with criticism and not and whatnot, or that they were not met with you know, but then go beyond. They're able to see the ability to go beyond and the potential and nurture for make the country get and the country realize. But na Salone waiting we sabi. Omocondemn.com, omocriticize.com, omomamicos.com. Now we sabi. We don't know how to edify, we don't know how to uplift, we don't know how to elevate. All we see is the negative. We can never see the silver lining in it all. We can never see the positive beyond the criticism levied. And yet you say we want to be part of the industrial. Now, in the industrial revolution, they've been saying, "Dear color, make a color."
Which one?
Una president. It been say one revolution.
No, not ready.
How we going to be part of this revolution, this industrial or whatever revolution, if you don't give audience to people like us? If you don't open your mind to be receptive to criticism and solutions, if you think everything has to be about allegiance and formation of allegiance and, you know, securing allegiance.
I mean, who cares? This is the point. Okay, let me face this. The end of the day, we're not calling nobody into politics. When the people are coming into opposition and they know all the problem at the world, and get all the solution, all they need for them for just plug in and push the button. Then when they come in, they begin can't tell when like say no, they begin can't tell when the problem and they say when they don't know me no about more. Okay. The point is, these people, will not get leaders. Because one of the callers, I don't say anything. We not get leadership at Salone. We not get a good leader in Salone. Because the leader, not to say they can build all the roads and build water, build everything, but it inspire people and for do more than what them capable for do. This is what leadership do. Okay, a leader they come, he put things in place and motivate his citizens for make sure say if you do overseas, you go and run for go Salone for open factory. This is what leaders do. If you're a leader, you make sure say if you're in university, when you come to university, you know say when you left the university to say they can't go find job, but instead they create job for employ other people. This is what leadership do. Not only give you the money, but they inspire you for do more than what you're able to do. That's what they call leadership. Not to somebody where now you have they can't talk for you. Somebody where pass them for only is the you tell before you say one word. What you do nothing. Even your communication team self, you will talk more than them. You know what they do. Because all the people where you come in, where you put in, you just give them incentive or you promote them because of what they may do for you. Either they may support you financially or they may just help people get in power. You don't put them because of the merit, because of merit. You don't put them because they understand. Now we take an example of somebody like the Senge. But Salone are one of the countries where we get the highest number of amputees in the world because of we war.
Yeah.
This guy come to MIT, he can't study how for build prosthetics. I mean, what this
I don't want self make you talk because for me this is one of the most disappointing.
I want to understand where you get lack of leadership in the country. Instead of saying they go Salone, go teach the young generation how to build prosthetics and how to build the young generation and go make then begin build into technology and begin build robots that will help them people on the hand and foot in the future so that maybe the next 10 or 15 years they will function again fully. It's a question let's go to Minister of Education. Let's say go to a minister and say let's go begin thief. In the next 2-3 years, saying that I don't turn the big one or the big thief man. Everything go on a college before we marry, all things for go away. By the time then they left power, saying again for being irrelevant to himself and the country. This is the kind of leadership we get in Sierra Leone. Because you're not saying that they were best friends. So go use it over now. If you see the white man and fool, you can't say yeah, Bill Gates go take you all money can get Salone because in bon way.
Bill Gates not inside Nigeria where Dangote go try for impressor with wealth and billions during in bikini married. Waiting Bill Gates tell her. He say it is a shame that such wealth is being displayed at this hour when just 2 minutes from here there are banlieues, there are suburbs, and there are slums. It is interesting.
We are we are
Could you
laughing
imagine?
stock.
Could you imagine?
Okay.
Anyways,
I mean,
make we close. We term down on. I don't want to go
you know,
without we not touch on pathology.
the pardon work 10 years, the pardon work, Adebayo, I call the names them. Then the pardon work, come on, when they can say the first priority for bring license as Salone, then give inside 2 years, 11 years, now she applies to the use so.
Wait first.
Now she
From where we born, we not been the area but bumbuna. Almost yeah.
from
Now tell them
1976 to
.com with this so.
more than $1 billion $1 billion, not only millions,
Eh?
billions.
Now point tell them we all this so. Point tell them now they we all this so. We still the area but bumbuna. How long una go to totobe people them? How long una go to play with the integrity and the mind and the loyalties of people them? For how long? Una wonder why some of una family member them after una no better no they follow them. Una wonder why them go kind of them place here, then turn and toil and do whatever, nothing, no good, no they ever follow them. Una wonder why some of una generation no they live to even see 50. The cries of the people, their water falling on the ground does not go in vain. Because there is a God, and He's a God of vengeance. He might be slow to anger. He might be slow to anger. But when He speaks, the earth trembles.
Most of the people don't believe in God. That's supposed to people that they just they go to church and mosque and just for camouflage. Then get they get the superstitious thing when they go pray to. Most of these politicians don't believe in God, so they don't care. These people not get nothing. They not get one fear of God. They get that plan. What's when they work people begin and cut their hand and cut their foot and use them body parts and that's so they feel and get them power. These people don't care about God and just let me again this Ricky Monama can see that with so-called fake pastors and with fake imam they take a politician and carry with in the consecrated house of God for what campaign side day. God, Salone, yeah, this Friday, let me go. I mean, like really. Politician will not say the lie. They will say the house of God.
Even in the last 5 minutes, I just want for make we take the last 5 minutes, touch on this pathology issue, na Connaught. And also you been get something for say, and I want give you a chance for say. We won't go into it in depthly. Hopefully the other show, I'm pretty sure the other show on Sunday will pick it up and have the time to deliberate on it, the pros and cons fully. But I don't want for left without start the ball rolling.
Well, I will just make a general stuff that we can go debate and full the next one. First of all this, I think say more than 10 or 15 years ago, he was supposed to retire anyway. Okay, he was supposed to retire more than 10 or 15 years ago. We get a country of about almost 8 million people, only one pathology in the entire country. Only one pathology in the entire
and this thing can say Nankashi.
Okay, we somebody go back and forth. Then Dr. Nahim sent me na Christian. Only one we get the entire Sierra Leone. This is about 8.2 million. We get schools them day when the police students them every single day. They want them to say it's not one part safe nor day we study that. Secondly,
because they have not made it attractive. They have not made it attractive. There is no incentive for any of these medical students to want to become a pathology in Sierra Leone or to want to become a mental, expert in Sierra Leone. Waiting do because they don't see the life of the people they were been done the day before. Always still there. They don't see how they've been ridiculed and diminished to nothing. And they don't see how they don't labor and work for all of these donkey years. But yes, then Sus broke like Broko Kununa Waf. He linked like, Aberdeen Bridge.
So if we talk about pathologists in America, these people are making more than $250,000 a year. Okay? Because when you talk about forensic, you need to do forensic without pathologist. Then work with the police, then work with so then get vast ideas and have two way hard for do. But when you do them now, one of the richest people in the country. We only get one person where in fact most of the people then not in the sign anymore. You get body because you know say the inside me put my sister and picking them. My sister and two picking them poison and we feel say them poison and
Yeah.
free. That same office there, the pathology office, go because they're not ready to investigate the case. Because secondly, first of all, they're not part of the police force. Some of the issues that they're supposed to report to the state and make even all the family accountable. Either my own sister and all enforcement and CID while they investigate and count everyone at the yard. But what they do, they allow, in fact, one of them body and grab, then go issue one death certificate for the two picking them, put them to throw them inside one grave, beg the two picking them inside one grave, inside Sierra Leone. But the point is, when we want to take the case, the same young sister and young Tevik and one for to go the safe. Poor souls them about 12 and 10-year-old picking them die like a pauper in the county. Who side they say, Lord, the CID know about them, the pathologist office know about them, they only give one death certificate. For two picking them, go beg them, go to them. If not, they just throw them inside the grave, then walk away. So in Dr. Otis in your time, you don't way beyond expire, you don't go. But now we go back to the ministry itself. Just recently, a woman, we know say Pekin died because of generator. Then recently, another woman, it died in Pekin, died in Abo hospital because of similar thing. Where's the ministry? So now, corners not get light, the body and the rotting. Where's the ministry? So, but then come out and say, we take all this out because of then again.
But that is what I am saying. That is what I am saying. You they take the doctor out, but the core of the issue, the thing self way and bug, you not fix them. You think by removing the doctor, you are fixing what have you fixed?
The system is rotten. From the doctor now, the ministers now, the body now, because the most of the send even the death certificate name is supposed to sign up, and nothing but the forger. The guy will sell them, the guy will sell the coffee in them, now sign them and tell and say, if they buy the coffee, you go say, this now we talk about murder cases. So now sell the coffee and go pray by the body and go then go fling and now what to say. What we talk about is exhume the body. But then one of them again tell the one of the woman
no, they go tell you say Salone not the exhume body.
I mean, we are so pathetic.
They go begin cut all kind law to you, not to even laws. When I say law, please, it's not even laws they will begin quoting. They will begin quote all kind Bible scripture you and all kind Quranic scripture to you and all kind scripture as to why what you are doing or thinking goes against custom, religion, and tradition.
Ordinary dog na treats. Dog na American, you may say torture. You go cut for the rest of your life. Then get worth more than we picking them, more than we family and life in Sierra Leone. Ordinary dog and puss na then country here. We puss in the kind when I'm mortuary, then buy casket, then pray for them, give them honor, then they bury them with honors. Salome die. Most of the na kinsmen they go to them. We don't know something happened to their body, other organ. This
I know for say this now a new health minister we can inside recently, we be sworn in recently. But sir, this now the first step where you don't take under your watch where we don't see. We don't want to see just the firing of people. We want to see change. We want to see institutional change. We want to see reform. So you as a minister, where a lot of people them around the block, they talk for say, you are the right man for the job. It's not just about people's praise. We want to see actions that speaks, that indicates, that demonstrates, that's visible, tangible.
You get
say, indeed, you're not the right man for the job. No, I need forget hope because some of the people they want to see they back this man. Some of the people they want to see they bamba this man and they back this man. They are people that I respect in society. So if these people that have come to respect in society are backing this man and saying that he is the right person for the job and he will bring about the much needed change that we need.
I'm not going to the minister right now. What I want to tell you is the former minister, Mr. Uri, when a minister of health, became dying at Connaught, because of generator. What did they do? They move on. The best they can do for Pekin where died at the country because of negligence, now for moving from one ministry to the other. This is our able presidents. They talk and do president Madabio. The best way they will do for institutions when a Pekin, when in any civilized country is supposed to resign immediately with immediate effect. You take the man, you move another ministry. This is how we able. This is how we talk and do minister. I'll talk and do president. So when you get the audacity for tonight and forum and tell we say this is not business as usual. Yeah, it's not business as usual because you don't make him more useless than what it used to be. Because there's no accountability. How shameful can you be a minister? Then they calling on phone and tell you say picking down under you watch. It talks well, call the hospital. We send money for generator, they're not buying. You as a minister don't even know that minister of health fall under you for going to the hospital and know what happened and reprimand somebody. And you said resigning me with immediate effect. The best the president can do now for moving to another ministry. Then we say we're going to do the country.
It is a constant slap on our faces because when you live on a patronage system, where you live on a lifestyle of put for me, when better follow you get for compensate the one that we been done they put for you. This is why our country, our system no go before, no go advance. So long as we know we continue that put for me mentality, do for me mentality, when you get into a position of power or position of trust or position of leadership, get what? You are indebted. You get debt for pay. You get for pay, you debt them. I go let you make you round up.
No, me not get much. Me not get no hope in these people. Okay, from the president they come down, they all get one mission. Their mission is for kind of keep the people of Sierra Leone. Use the tribal influence with them puppets them for the weapon they make noise. Use them paid agents for kind of social media and run them out at the expense of the country. And we got most people that love their way, then feel they love their country, then sets them out. This new minister are not saying nothing. I said, can call that for speed, nothing go for commodity. At the end of the day, there is no way in the constitution where it talks you're not supposed to hire. In fact, not to just the entire country, but supposed to have at least 2 or 3 pathologists in every city in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
2 or 3 pathologists in every city. You get a bunch of Sierra Leoneans overseeing when they need Russia, but couldn't go China for go study. What would I don't tell students here for go study?
We got 16 provinces then. We suppose forget at least 16 times 2 or 16 times 3 the number of pathologists in every provinces. And Sierra Leone being one of the capital with the largest population, we suppose forget at least up to 5 or 6 pathologists, because one pathologist supposed for dinner 34, one supposed for the Connaught, one supposed for the Cottage, one supposed make a begin call them.
No, if our people don't understand that pathology, they work. If anybody where it die on suspicious death, or anybody where it die when not for die, pathologists are supposed to do a forensic report or what they call post-mortem before that body left. Now make that thinking go to Salone, you kill anybody you want for kill, not not commodity. If they kill
look that woman where them fend na that Milan tank. The woman go married man, come America, married man. Next thing you know, them fend inside Milan tank, and then say the woman for do inside Milan tank. Where they look the Milan tank in circumference, and then look then like, and this na mortal man put her inside it. How can they prove it? They cannot prove it because we do not have the facility, tools, equipment, and expertise to do so. But anyway, with people, we don't talk Boku today. The talk not done it. The talk continue. The talk get for continue. The public purse, the public good, what is allowed and legal. We get for continue for the talk bottom. We get for continue for the cover. We get for continue for the look inside, because we cannot sit by and just let Sierra Leone fail. We cannot. Sierra Leone has to succeed. Please. By hook or by crook, we need for succeed. We cannot sit by and allow Sierra Leone to fail. It will be a shame to that nation. It will be a shame to our generation. It will be a shame for our future generation. Even generations yet unborn. Let the story of Sierra Leone not be told in this way. We can put a comma somewhere and continue to, continue the sentences and the paragraphs and the chapters to something different, something that is pleasurable to the eyes of men. Anyways, I want to take a minute for tell Mama Freetongue plenty anniversary. Freetongue turned 222 years old yesterday. I dey say anniversary because me na Freetongue titi. But dear, una not tell me wetin I dey celebrate o. Una no can give me kata for throat. I just dey recognize the city where I born. Is that okay? So happy 222 Freetongue. I know you read the president say anything. I know you read the first lady say anything. Even though na inside Freetongue themselves sit down the rule. But hey, it is what it is. Corona is real. Protect yourself. Watch over yourself. Una wash una hand, una practice social distancing, and by God in power. I no get for you Salone must better. Salone go better. Salone go change. We go change am. By hook or by crook, we get for change am.
Salone go better if September in that thunder wake I begin to smash down at the hostel and Salone go better. Because they bakuni for die before the Salone better. So man for die Salone better.
See you don't vex. See you tell una today say some man get for die before Salone better. And you know what? I agree with that. Some people will have to, expire. Some people, I'm not saying deleted, because to delete means that you would have to be killed. And I am against violence, I'm against killing, I'm against extrajudicial activities and all of that. But yet, some lightning from above need for strike. Some cleansing need for take place. Eternal cleansing need for take place. From the heavens above, the lion that roars need for take place. Then maybe we'll start seeing some light and we'll start seeing our way forward. Until then, my people, listen, the talk continues. And I not forget, na tetemu the tetemu show to 60 year. I get for begin to get some serious reflection, serious programs them. About 60 years. What does it mean? How far have we come? Have we even come? Have we started? Or are we still at point of departure? Who side and left win are they with it? I don't know. But during the course of the coming weeks, I hope to get some of the presenters, even from different shows, to tell us about their experience growing up in Sierra Leone, what they know, what they experience, even when they came here, what they miss about back home, what they wished would have changed by now. Because we need to explore all the way. So even within the young generation, some of the entrepreneurs, what are they doing to empower back home? Even with all of the difficulties, how are they forging ahead? The calculation of 222 was wrong, my dear. For those who are asking me, is it 222? The calculation of 222 was wrong. Know your history. When you go back and you read your history properly, you will actually notice that it's 229 years.
229. Because I'm correct you. No, I made mistake for saying mistake say 222 instead of 229. So I think any person pick up on.
Okay. 229, yes, 229 years, not 222, not 229. Yeah, 229 year nine. 229. This year we turn 60. Next year in the turn 230. In the days of old, 230 na be young pikin, but in the days of now, 230 na ancient.
We're not going to pop at the system. The system they come always be more money die. 229 system. We'll not get no on the ground water system. So we pass to pipe them. We pipe them up at fence and they pass them. 229. Like we not get toilets. But when you inside part and they put the neighbor at it. 229. We like. What's our first start?
And I make I say, see you, not can begin another topic now. Now that make I say, Now that make us say, I am not, please do not ask me what I am celebrating. Just allow me say 229 and left and so. Now Freetown I
Thank God,
want, me na Freetown
thank God,
picking. Allow me say
I don't
229 and make we left and so. No can ask me what we don't achieve na Freetown. At least I can say for the first time in a very, very long time, we have a mayor I can be absolutely proud of. We have a mayor that has stood the test of time, that has demonstrated what true leadership means, what innovation means. So that is something I can celebrate about Sierra Leone. Having a visionary mayor, an innovative mayor, that is something I can celebrate about Freetown. As a true Freetonians, take that. Peace out, people.
been adapted with union. So good night.